Welcome back to the Spartan Sports Podcast. My name is Thomas Chavez, and today I am joined by
Carter Fry.
And a very tired Zachary Locker.
backed by unpopular demand, us.
Whoa, listen, I heard I was missed. I had to make a surprise return.
Yeah, Zach. Zach was we're chilling in the group chat trying to plan what time to do it at, and Zach's just like, hey, I can make it this time. So here we have him. Zachary.
Hey,
Surprise.
I don't have to deliver wings tonight. I'm there, like swimwear.
He's here. Let's go. But yeah, I don't know where we were. Oh, we were introducing the podcast. That's right. Okay. As we all know, it is a Thursday afternoon, as always, with the pod. The NBA play-in tournament started 2 nights ago. We had the Boston Celtics defeat the Washington Wizards. We had the Pacers beat the Hornets. And then
Yes, they did.
yesterday, we had the Grizzlies beat the Spurs because, of course, the Spurs are always somewhere. And then we had Zachary's favorite player somehow pull off a victory over the Warriors.
We had King James, the best player of all time, the best player in the world, hit a game winner over Stephen Curry, boy.
We'll get into breaking down these games and what we're looking forward to in the first final play-in game for the 8th seed tonight. That's between the Pacers and the Wizards. And we'll also talk about the Warriors and Grizzlies game that's on Friday. But first, we promised we would talk about the NBA awards. That has not happened yet. So we're just going to do a quick rundown. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Let's start with MVP because that is probably what people like the most. So, Carter, who is your MVP?
My MVP, and as much of a Steph Curry fan as I am, I think Jokic has run away with it at this point. I just don't think you can argue, third in the West, lost the star point guard to an ACL tear, but still kept, their hold, their seeding as, other Western teams were trying to make a late season push. Jokic, you watch him out there, he makes shots that you just go, like, how does that go in? How does that baseline fade away, where he has two people jumping all over him? How does that shot fall without hitting the rim? I mean, he really changes how defenses have to play the Nuggets, and he's definitely one of the most impactful players in the league when it comes to, forcing coaches to exhaust all their options, trying to stop him. He passes better than any big we've maybe ever seen. He does everything well. Even his defense has improved over recent years. And I think it's just good enough this year to allow him to win the MVP because he has been just so dominant on the offensive end. So even though Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Luka Doncic, Embiid, we could be sitting here talking about a different conversation had Embiid not gotten hurt for a couple weeks, and he might be in the combo. But, even though all those guys had really solid, historic seasons, I think it still goes to Jokic.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. One stat that I find really interesting about Jokic this season is that when he is on the court and his teammates are scoring buckets, 40% of his teammates' made field goals are off of an assist from him, which is quite a lot. So I found that to be a really intriguing statistic, especially since he's averaging 8 assists per game. So, yeah, but I heard Zach disagrees.
Well, listen, I personally, I love Nikola Jokic. I think he's the second best, I think he's the best big man in the league. And I think the only white player better than him is the Great White Hope 2.0 and Luka Doncic. Those my my two white boys in the league.
Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, well, he's third, whatever. But no, I won't undermine what he does for the Nuggets because he is great. But I do think that their team overall is much better than the Warriors are without Steph Curry. And when you look at what Steph Curry's done, especially over the past month, the dude has been an animal. I mean, as unstoppable can be. and really played that team into the play-in spot, which they did lose, but they lost to the Lakers, the defending champs, LeBron and AD, and it was pretty much like the Steph Curry show. 37 points in that game. Really came down to the buzzer when it probably shouldn't have. Without him, without them, they're probably in the lottery again. There's not much on that team besides him, and he like really put them on his back to finish the season. And I think as far as what players add to a team over the course of a season, I think that he added more to the Warriors than Jokic did to the Nuggets, who I think were already good. I think they're a solid team, and then Jokic and what's his name sort of are the cherries on top. But I think they have a much better roster than the Warriors do overall. So that's why I give it to Curry.
Yeah, I think that if the Warriors were even like the sixth seed, it would be a different conversation. Because I think that if they were more cemented into the playoffs, he'd be getting more recognition for what he's been doing. Because he has been a phenomenal player. But team success has always been tied to the MVP award.
That's not true. That's not true.
It
Russell Westbrook.
They were the 5 seed.
Come on, they were not good that year.
They weren't.
They were not good. So
but Russ elevated them, and that's why he won MVP.
Yeah, and I think the Nuggets have been dominant all season now. So whether that be as a result of Jokic's play throughout the season or them just having a good roster. Is there any doubt that if Klay Thompson was healthy and playing, that they wouldn't be at least a 4th seed?
They'd probably be in the 4 or the 5, yeah.
So that's just you got to put things in their proper perspective. And like over the past month, there's no one that's played better. There's no one that's played better than Steph Curry. He's just been good all season. It's been fun, like actually seeing them play because last season Klay was out for most of the year, and Curry was hurt for a large portion also. So I don't know. It's just I've always enjoyed Steph Curry. I didn't like him when he was having his feuds with LeBron, because I hated seeing him lose or him keep beating him. But the league is so much more fun when he's going full blast like he has been.
Yeah, definitely. But
I'm completely okay with Jokic winning if he does. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so next we have Defensive Player of the Year. I'll go last because I have someone that I don't think you guys have. So let's start with Carter again.
So, quite a few guys come to mind here. I don't think it's as clear-cut this year as it sometimes is, but I am actually going to go with Rudy Gobert to win Defensive Player of the Year once again. Am I correct in saying this would be his 3rd straight?
I think so.
Or
yeah.
no? Or did Montrez win it?
Montrez definitely didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. He might have.
I think it was Rudy.
Montrez sucks at defense, Carter.
Well, anyway. Oh wait, Giannis won it last year.
Giannis, yeah, he did his thing.
Yeah, no, Giannis won it last year.
Gobert was like 2 years in a row.
Yeah, so this would be 3rd time in 4 years?
Yeah.
So his 3rd DPOY in 4 years, I think that he has earned it. The Jazz are the number 1 seed in the West, or number 1 seed in the West for a reason. I think, Donovan Mitchell obviously brings a lot to the table. Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, 2 guys that will probably come up in our 6th man of the year conversation later. But Rudy Gobert, he kind of is the centerpiece to that team, especially on the defensive end. He again totally makes offenses change how they're going to attack both the rim and the perimeter, and where they're going to draw him, which players they're going to draw Gobert to, just because he does make such a defensive impact on the floor. And, Ben Simmons, he definitely has a case, but I really didn't like how he seemed so invested in it and how he's constantly talking, like trying to hype himself up to the media and stuff, which I don't, necessarily like. So, when players get talking about the race like that, I'm just not a fan of it. So I'm taking Ben Simmons out of there. And then Giannis, I think, also deserves some consideration just because he's Giannis and we know the impact he makes. But I just think, Gobert, they're the number one seed for a reason, and it's because of his defensive contributions primarily. So I'm going with him.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you, Carter. I mean, the Jazz have just been so good all season, right? Like from start to finish, it has been like, just consistent, high quality, efficient play, which I am always a fan of. And, it really starts on the defensive end and where he stars, right? I mean, that's really his thing. And then it allows them, when you know that you're going to, when you know you're playing efficient team basketball and you're going to keep the score down for the opposing offense, it really allows the guys on the other end to take pressure off themselves and just go out there and perform. And I think he's done it better than anyone else. And it shows with their placement, top their conference. And, I can't agree more, he has everything going for him as far as that race is concerned.
All right, are you guys ready to hear who I have?
I'm super excited.
Let's hear it.
I want you to take a guess who I have.
Big Penguin.
I have a
Who's
feeling
Big
you're going to
Penguin?
say a guard.
Andre Drummond.
Oh, gosh, no. It's not a guard.
It's not a guard. Oh, you know what? There is one guy that I actually think low-key deserves it, but I know he's not going to win, and it might be who you're talking about. Is it Mr. Matisse Thybulle?
No, it's not. I said it wasn't a guard.
I don't know. He could be a
All
3.
right. I have Draymond as my defensive player of the year, and I am going
Wow.
to say it right now, right here. Draymond Green on the Warriors has them with the 5th ranked defensive rating in the entire league. You can fake that surprise act, but who else on the Warriors is good at defense?
No, that's what I'm reacting for.
They're not very, like, no one else on their team screams, I'm good at defense. Like Andrew Wiggins has been
Draymond
okay,
makes that happen.
but
Draymond makes that happen.
Draymond is the best team defender in the league. As a help defender, he is dominant. And unlike Gobert, Draymond can go out and defend on the perimeter and not get exposed. Because when Gobert has to defend on the perimeter, he gets sauced up. All right. Every time he switched on to Chris Paul when he played against the Rockets, he was not doing too hot. So I just personally, I think that Draymond has earned the Defensive Player of the Year award again because, he might not be the best on-ball defender anymore. He can still defend multiple positions, but, just as a team defender, I think that he has the most impact in the league. So I have Draymond as my Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't know about that, but listen, it is what it is. I don't like Draymond Green.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the impact he brings, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to totally disagree with you or anything, but I just think Gobert.
I mean, he's not going to win it. I just think that he.
No, but I forgot to mention Matisse Thybulle, so I got to get that in there.
Shout out to Matisse Thybulle. All right. Next up, Rookie of the Year. This I'm pretty sure is going to just come down between LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. So we'll see. I don't know who you guys have, but I have LaMelo. I just think that he has had a phenomenal rookie year, just as a passer and just a playmaker. His lobs to Miles Bridges are must-see television. So, I mean, even though he missed some time, I think he ran away with the award early. And it took, even though Anthony Edwards had a great second half to the year, I don't think he's caught him yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, had LaMelo not been injured, I think it wouldn't be nearly as close as it seems everyone is talking about. But even though LaMelo was injured a certain amount of games, I am still going to give him Rookie of the Year. Last year when Zion was hurt, I didn't want to give him Rookie of the Year just because I didn't think he played enough games. I don't know exactly how many games LaMelo missed. I'll look, but yeah, I don't think he missed enough to bar him from getting the award. And he had such an impressive season. Just, the crazy, I saw some of the craziest passes I've ever seen from LaMelo this year. I mean, the dude's a real talent, can shoot the ball, shot 35% from 3 this year. So, we'll work to go on the jump shot, but not, unfixable or horrible for, by any means. But Yeah, he played in 51 games in a 72 game season. So, I still think he's eligible, and I'll give him the award as well.
Yeah, it's really without a doubt. I mean, listen, as someone who doubted the kid coming out, I was like, listen,
I did
I
too.
think 100% didn't think he had the right personality to be successful in the NBA. Couldn't be more wrong. The dude is like extraordinarily talented, and he did everything that he showed at other levels in the NBA, like instantaneously. I was very impressed. Oh, he was fun to watch. I mean, he made the Charlotte Hornets like feel like they were the Showtime Lakers when you'd see their highlights online. You know, super duper impressed. Enjoyed watching him. Enjoyed following him throughout the season. 100% agree with you guys on that one.
To push ahead a little bit, we can hit these last couple with very quick elaboration on what we're doing, because we do still have to get to the other games that happened last week or this week. So, most improved player, Carter.
My most improved player, I don't think it's close, Julius Randle. There you go. Short and sweet.
I disagree. It is Jeremy Grant. Not sorry, but Jeremy Grant has had a
you're lying to yourself. Ability. I'm sorry.
Okay, Julius Randle went from I'm the number one option on the Knicks to I'm the number one option on the Knicks and an all-star. Jeremy Grant went from I am a role player coming off the bench for the Denver Nuggets to I am the number one option and almost an all-star on the Detroit Pistons.
I'll put it to you like this, and let me settle this debate with a 2-1 situation. Julius Randle made the Knicks relevant again. So that's about as impressive of a improvement as you can wish for, I imagine. So I have to go with him as well.
I mean, I don't know.
Look where the Knicks are. Look where. And also
Detroit wasn't trying to win this year, though.
Yeah, but that's another part of the puzzle. Jeremy Grant was on the Nuggets, who have been consistently in the top half of the Western Conference playoffs in recent years, and then he goes to what record did the Pistons have? Like the second worst?
They had the second worst record in the league.
Second worst record in the league. Going to a team like that. Sure, they weren't trying to win.
I can tell you this much. They were not the second worst team in the league.
But yes, he would have gotten minutes anyway. More minutes. Just making the team move, not anything about his
he
talents
went from 10 points progress. A game to 22.
Wait, from what to what?
He went from 10 points a game to 22.
10. I'm not denying that's a big jump. I think him, Christian Wood, a couple other guys all had great, leaps this year. But Julius Randle turned New York around, got basketball exciting there again. They are the fourth seed? Fifth seed? Fourth seed?
Fifth or fourth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Knicks are for real, and it's all because of Julius Randle. Where are the Knicks?
Yeah.
Where are the Pistons? Bottom of the East.
I mean, listen, Julius Randle did things the unicorn wasn't able to do. And the dude's name was the unicorn. I mean, what else do you want as far as improvement goes?
There are like 8 unicorns in the NBA these days, so I don't think there's really a unicorn anymore. That was a stupid nickname for him, because there's like 10 of them now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot of really tall power forwards that should be playing center that can shoot threes.
I'm just hating on Kristaps.
Kristaps is slow. But we can agree to disagree on that one. Sixth man, Carter. I'll let you take this one away because I don't know. I think he said I don't know if we have the same person or not. Actually, what did you say?
Man, see, yeah, Jordan Clarkson averaging 18 a game, right off the bench. But man, Joe Ingles, my man Jingles, he, 12 points a game, and you could even make the argument that he doesn't deserve to be in the six-man conversation because he did start 30 games out of the 67 that he played this year. Jordan Clarkson did have a pretty bad shooting slump that lasted, month and a half. And Jingles has a ridiculous effective field goal percentage this year and is up there with just a list of bigs, because it's usually a big dominated stat. Like, the top 10 are usually almost all, big men that finish near the rim. But despite being an outside shooting guy, Joe Ingles finished somewhere in the top 10 this year, I believe, in effective field goal percentage. So he has been shooting the ball very well, and he is out there on the floor at the end of games for the Utah Jazz. So keeping all that in mind, I might go Joe Ingles this year for my sixth man. And it's funny, I'm debating two people on the same team, so like more of a sixth and seventh man. But I think if you start less than half your games, you should be eligible for the sixth man. And I think Ingles has had the bigger impact, so I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about how many starts he's had, because when you really think about it, being able to go from being a bench player to coming up and starting is important as well. So that honestly helps his argument for sixth man, in my opinion, because I mean, anyone can stay on the bench and keep scoring, just coming off the bench to score, but it takes something else to fit into a role with other starters. So I have Joe Ingles. Just him being a more efficient shooter is what I think puts him above Clarkson for me, because Clarkson can come off and score 18, but he's not going to do it efficiently. So I like efficient people when they score. So Joe Ingles, shout out.
I mean, let's just talk about how exciting that team is to have both those guys on the same squad coming off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, that's Zach, do you have a different person, or are you just?
No, as far as six, I don't really pay enough attention to know about sixth man of the year. I'm worried about the big fish, the exciting guys.
All right. Carter, did you come up with a definitive answer?
Yeah, no, I thought I said I think I'm going Jingles on this
Okay.
one.
Okay. And final one, coach of the year, Carter, go.
Monty Williams.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns, yep, them and the Jazz. I am very excited. Quinn Snyder, I think, also deserves a little nod, maybe Thibodeau. But Suns have been great this year, making huge leap, but now they have LeBron in the first round. So we will see where their season ends up, but I'm very excited to watch them in the playoffs.
I'm going with Tibbs. I think with how well the Knicks are playing, like his impact on the team can't go unnoticed, because he has Julius Randle playing in the MVP conversation right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tibbs. Monty Williams, I think he is benefiting. I'm not to disparage Monty Williams, but I think part of the Suns' success is coming from the Chris Paul effect. So
of course,
that's what gives Tibbs the edge to me, is because he doesn't have that guy like Chris Paul on his roster.
Yeah, I think the Suns are much. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's for sure. But I will say Julius Randle does kind of have that, team leader vibe to him, where I think he does actually make his teammates better. But yeah, Chris Paul obviously is a different level when it comes to elevating the people around him.
The thing is, if you really look at it, Monty Williams didn't have Chris Paul last year, and look where he is now that he has Chris Paul. But then with the
Knicks, were
8-0
in the bubble.
True, but now they're the number 2 seed in the West with Chris Paul. And then looking at the Knicks, Julius Randle didn't have Thibodeau last year, and now look at where he is with Thibodeau. So
yeah, I have to agree. Thibodeau, I mean, like,
it's a good argument.
The Knicks have been such a surprise that I think that you have to give everything that's going on there. I mean, except for anything to do with Dolan, that guy is trash can. But like, as far as like the rest of the team is concerned, you got to give your nod, and I sort of agree with your logic, Thomas.
Thank you. All right, so those are the season awards. We promised you them 2 weeks ago, and we finally got through them. So good job, guys. We're great at this.
Right, so we were waiting for everybody to be here, but people
get busy. It's summertime. It's okay.
People are busy.
I work 6 days a week. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're here now. That's all that matters. We were really just waiting for you, Zach. We wanted your hot takes.
I mean, listen, in the group chat, you constantly like, Zach, we can't do this unless you're here. We can't do this unless you're here. The fans are they just
We've been missing the Steelers and LeBron talk.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We can talk some Steelers if you want.
No Steelers.
Not this week. Maybe in a week or two.
exciting changes in the Steel City.
But as we all know, the play-in started, as we alluded to earlier in the podcast. Let's just start quickly with the East. The Celtics were able to edge out against the Wizards on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday that they played.
That was Tuesday.
Yeah, and the Pacers also beat the Hornets. Just quick thoughts on that. Hornets did not look like they wanted to be there. That was really sad because they had played so well during the regular season, and that was very uninspired play, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like they were just missing something. Whether it be like the brights were a little bit too bright, or the lights were a little bit too bright. I know what I just said. I apologize. I said the brights, but they just seemed like dead fish floating on a pond. I mean, it was just extremely not.
But yeah, no, the Hornets, I don't know what did they give up? 144 points.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of points, and especially after the Pacers had so much turmoil. They had so much turmoil like a week ago.
I don't know.
They were about to fight with the assistant coach, and so
the Pacers are a roller coaster. Some games they'll be scoring, 130, 140, and the next 80 something, or they'll give up 150. Their scores often seem to be, they give off some weird box scores, especially as of recently, past few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Pacers are beating the Wizards tonight. They play tonight. I don't think that the Pacers even have a chance. Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal are too good to lose 2 games in a row trying to make it to the playoffs. So I have the Wizards beating the Pacers. If we want to talk about the Celtics-Wizards game real quick, there's not much to say other than Kemba was able to show up, and that helped the Celtics actually win because with Jaylen Brown out with his wrist injury, they needed someone else to step up, and that was Kemba, which he needed to because he makes a lot of money anyways. But yeah, so Kemba, good job. I'm proud of you, honey. You can come on the show anytime. We'd love to have you.
And don't forget about my man Jason Tatum dropping a 50 bomb.
That's expected.
He's
only 20.
He's only 20. But
yeah,
he's like 23 now. But
listen, Celtics fans have been pining for that guy to do more all season. So it's good that he finally showed up in a big moment, did something.
Thomas, if you're saying that we should expect Jason Tatum to drop 50 every game,
in a do or die game, if in a do or die game, I expect the best player on the team to be able to put up as many points as they need him to.
Big facts.
Especially if he's an all-star.
Like the King hitting that 3 and that dagger.
We'll talk about that in a second, Zach. I have my own thing to say about that, but let's go there now. Actually,
let's go there.
LeBron James gets hit in the eyeball by Draymond and starts and just constantly complaining like, I can't see. Clearly the man could see, otherwise he wouldn't have made that shot. I'm sorry.
Hey, they assaulted him.
No, it was
there
assault.
There should have been a foul.
That was not a very foul. It was a foul.
It should have been a tech.
It was a foul.
Should have got Draymond out of there.
It was not that hard of a foul. That was a lot of salesmanship.
He targeted the best player in the world's eyes. It was dirty. He should be banned from the league.
I'm sorry. I didn't think it was that dirty, and I also don't think that LeBron was blind. I refuse to believe it.
Have you ever been poked in the eye before, Thomas?
I have been poked in the eye before.
Ever been poked by a 7-footer in the eye before?
Draymond is only 6'6".
Draymond is not a 7-footer.
I mean, his hands are 7 feet tall. So I mean, with the hands up and all that jazz, it's 7
If
feet.
LeBron was as good as he says, he should have just walked it off.
LeBron is 48 years old. Okay, it's a miracle he's even still playing.
LeBron is on 2 robotic legs right now.
No, but You know,
I would.
LeBron loves to have his, excuses. Oh, I did this even though I was going through this. So this is his big, you know.
And
I
now,
think he overplayed it a little bit. I imagine it hurt a lot coming from Draymond, but he wouldn't have taken a shot from the side logo, if he really couldn't see out of one eye.
He had to. The game clock was running down. There was no other choice but to freaking let it fly. And you know
yeah,
what?
but he wouldn't have made it if he
Irish.
couldn't see it.
He shot for the middle rim. That's the best one to go for. If you see three, shoot for the one in the middle. Okay. Listen, Irish string green, baby. You know what that is? That's greatness. That's clutch gene. He did. He could have no eyes, and LeBron would have made that shot. You know why? Because he's the best. But listen, LeBron James is the best in the world, and he'll continue to be the best in the world until someone stops him. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. I love you, LeBron, forever and always.
I mean, they got the 7 seed. They'll lose in, I'll let them have 5 games against the Suns. They'll lose in 5 games against the Suns. All right.
Excuse me?
Hey.
Oh, are we going to pretend like LeBron James is about to sweep them?
No. I'm saying that the Suns are about to sweep the Lakers.
I'll put a bet on that.
I have the fullest of faith in Chris Paul to finally make it to the NBA Finals. So I'm going all in there. I'm hedging my bets here. But
Listen, yeah, I already took my ankles off and they're shipped to LeBron first class mail yesterday. He'll have 2 fresh ankles by the time that series is around, and it's going to be a massive.
I mean, if they're your ankles, he might not be able to get too high off the ground.
Listen, you jump with the quads, not with the ankles. He'll be just fine. Just don't land on them too hard. No, was I the only one? Like, honestly, the scariest part of the sorry, quick tangent. Like, the scariest part of when Draymond went up and met him was how he fell on his leg. Like, did you see how he not tweaked his leg, but how he came down on it? I was like, oh, LeBron, you can't be doing that, baby. You're too old.
I wasn't paying attention to that part. I was looking to see if he hit the back of his head on the court, to be honest. I was concerned about that.
Listen, everyone who is interested, go watch the highlight again and just watch how he lands on his leg. It was like a broken leg waiting to happen. It freaked me out.
It freaked Zach out, everybody. So
yeah, if it scares Zach, you know that you should be concerned too. All you LeBron stands out there.
Listen, but you know why? Because LeBron, he has vibranium in his shins, so it didn't break it. So we're good.
Okay. All right. There was one other game yesterday, which was the Spurs versus the Grizzlies. Games yesterday were actually really good, especially after the Tuesday games, which weren't very, interesting. The games yesterday were nice. The Grizzlies and Spurs, came down to the wire. Ja Morant can't make a free throw, I guess, which is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it other than it was a really good game, because I really don't know what else you can say about it, to be honest.
I mean, that seems to be like, sort of just how these games go. Like, I mean, I know we had an argument about this on the podcast. Maybe it was the last time I was on, but like we just sort of discussed like the effects of the play-in tournament and whether or not, the teams that deserve to be in would make it. But it just seems like every game you watch when it comes to these things are always fantastic. Like except for the one with the Hornets, was there another one where a team got blown out? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like they've all been great.
The Celtics-Wizards game wasn't a blowout, so that was still a good game. But these 2 games that happened yesterday were like close within the final 2, like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it just seems like it's good basketball.
Yeah.
Very good basketball.
Fighting for your lives,
Yeah, and I'm just mad that I've been so busy and haven't been able to really like watch it. Like, obviously you see highlights all the time, right? But like to be able to sit down and watch it because I've been so busy, it's been heartbreaking.
Yeah. They're good games.
Well, I mean, like when usually, because my ritual always is when the summer comes around, it's like full on basketball, right? Like I'll keep track of what's happening during the season, but then once summertime kicks off in the playoffs and all that jazz, it's like, okay, now I can actually sit down and watch some stuff, but I haven't really been able to. I just keep track of it all.
Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies, they just played the Warriors on Monday, and Sunday maybe, and Warriors beat them. But I'm definitely still a little concerned for the Warriors, even though they almost beat the Lakers. I mean, it was the Warriors game too. They came back and surprised them on a good run at the end of the third, continuing into the fourth, and the Lakers, ended up holding on. But I'm a little concerned for the Warriors and if they'll be able to get in, because John Morant, he can turn it on, at any time. They got Jaren Jackson, Dylan Brooks, Xavier Tillman, all good pieces down in Memphis. So I could see them nabbing the 8 seed. But man, if the Warriors can hang on, win the next game, and we have a Suns versus LeBron and AD and a Jazz versus Curry and Draymond, opening series, I will be very excited, because I think those are two matchups that will be some must-see TV, especially for first-round NBA playoff basketball.
Oh, gosh, could you imagine it? Warriors get in, they're the 8th seed. They go to play, starting lineups are announced. All of a sudden, Stone Cold's glass breaks and Klay Thompson runs out of the court. I'm here. I'm playing. I'm ready to go. Oh my gosh, it'd be like out of a movie.
That'd be amazing, but it wouldn't happen, unfortunately.
I know. It's just sort of like a dream. Like, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. They'd also then lose to the Suns in the semifinals, but be like that.
And something
what
interesting
with the
also.
Suns fandom?
Wait, what about
Suns? I just think that Chris Paul's finally going to do it.
I'm just confused about his Suns fandom. It's so intense.
It's not the Suns, it's Chris Paul.
All right,
Chris
so
Paul.
what were you saying?
I was just going to say, it's really interesting that both the 7 seeds won this year. I think that will, if the NBA decides to do this again, I think that will, influence whether, they keep the 7 seed involved or not, because I know that seems to be a hot point of contention, especially with people that don't like the plan. But yeah, you're being concerned about whether the 7 seed should be included. Both of them ended up winning. They're playing games and keeping the 7 seed. So, yeah, no harm, no foul there. But I still don't think that the 7 seed should be involved in the plan necessarily.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think that I've come around a little bit on the play-in tournament. I don't like the 7 seed being involved, but I enjoy it. So, Alex, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for doubting you.
Where's my apology? I was pretty sure it was Alex and I versus you and that.
I'll never apologize to you. That's just the situation.
Do you see this? Do you see what I deal with, the mistreatment that I'm involved with on this podcast?
I'm not going to apologize to someone that's concerned about LeBron James' eyeball.
He got hit hard.
It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard.
LeBron is almost 40 years old. Okay?
It wasn't
And he's
that
also
hard.
one of the biggest floppers the NBA has ever seen.
Listen. When you get to be that age, things just go. Okay, you can't be going through. You can't be taking.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that no matter what age you're at, getting hit in the eyeball is gonna hurt. But he was not hit that hard in the face. I'm sorry. And then he was all squinting his eyes for the rest of the game, like.
He was definitely.
Listen,
when we get back to Oscar there.
When we get back to MSU, I want you to go for a layup, and I'm going to full on Draymond Green you, and we're going to see how good you feel afterwards.
Well, we have a threat.
I'm going to full in. No, I'm just saying recreate. I'm going to go like this, right there, and we're going to see how many rims you see. And if you see less than 3, then I admit my wrong. And
if I see any number less than 3 baskets.
Yes.
After you poke me in the eye, you'll give me $1. Even
if you see 2, I'll give you $1.
Okay, deal.
And then you have to shoot a shot and just shoot for the middle and see what happens.
Well, if there's only 2 buckets, I'm not going to shoot for the middle. I'm going to shoot for one of the buckets.
All right, that's a deal.
But okay, quick wrap up because we have been talking for a while. So tonight it is Pacers versus Wizards. Tomorrow it is Grizzlies versus Warriors. Very quickly, who do you got in those 2 games?
Say one more time.
I was gonna say I have the Wizards over the Pacers in the Eastern game. Yeah, like you said, I just don't think that Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook are going to give up, so easily after having one of the best finishes in the league over the past few weeks. So I definitely think that they're going to get it together and finish off the Pacers and their and their dysfunctional season. And then over in the West, I am taking Steph Curry and the Warriors. I think the same for them. They're not going to go down without a fight. And the Grizzlies might be just a bit too young to handle all the experience the Warriors will be bringing to the table. So Warriors, Wizards, those are my picks.
I actually agree on both fronts. I think that Mr. Trip Dubs and Bradley Beal will get it done. And then I believe that Steph, listen, I was very impressed with how he performed, versus LeBron in that game, versus the Lakers in that game. I think if he can do the same thing, if he can do the same and perform the same way he did versus the Lakers, I think that it's an easy win for them. So that's what I'm banking on.
Taking the Wizards, but I'm going to actually take the Grizzlies. I think that the Grizzlies have size on the Warriors, and if the Lakers actually had good centers that, weren't Andre Drummond, who gets lost in the middle of nowhere every single time he's on the court, if the Lakers actually had real centers, they would be able to play AD at the 4 the entire game and just bully ball the Warriors to victory, and it wouldn't have been that close, to be honest.
But AD is better at the 5.
Yes, but he doesn't like playing the 5.
He does not.
Well,
he does not.
Maybe he should like playing and not being hurt every few games before he complains about his
the size of the Grizzlies, they have Valanciunas and Jaren Jackson along with Xavier Tillman, and I just think that the size that they bring, and they can use that size like legitimately, not like the Lakers do, where it's just like, oh, Drummond is going to post up and do absolutely nothing with that post up because he sucks at posting up. The Grizzlies are actually good with their big men, so I think that that's going to give the Warriors a lot of trouble. And so, yeah, I've got the Grizzlies.
Versus the best team ball defender in the league, you think that the big men on the Grizzlies are going to give the Warriors trouble?
Draymond can't be on the court at all times.
Okay. All right.
Grizzlies got Jaren Jackson, Valanciunas, Xavier Tillman,
even Kyle Anderson,
Brandon Clark. That's what I was trying to think of.
So yeah, but that is all the time we have for you today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Spartan Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend if you feel so inclined. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.